Hello, my YouTubers, my fam out there on YouTube. It is me, 6'3". Today I have a review for you guys that I don't think has probably ever hit YouTube. I am sorry my table is a little messy in the background. Anyway, so I got something here very special that, again, has not been seen yet. And if you want to see more really cool diecast reviews like this, always remember to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the cool stuff that comes on my channel, that comes up. Anyway, so a interesting brand that was around for a bit, but it didn't last super long, was Malibu International. And I talk about them because a lot of people have the 160, a few people had the 164 scale of these for review, but a lot of people don't have nobody has the 1/18th scale. Nobody I've seen has the 18th scale of this for review. And personally, I think it's an underrated model because it is such a banger of a model, and it is really cool. And this is the Long Beach Lowriders, or known as the Lock Riders series. And it's basically the same type deal, same type details. But y'all are kind of going to see in a minute what sets this model apart from a usual Jada. Most of the stuff when they think of the lowriders, Jada usually makes them, Motor Max usually makes them, but these just have like the full-on detail. And I know lowriders are a big subject matter. They're pretty hot right now. So I figured I'd kind of capitalize on that while this is such a hot subject with a lot of people that like the culture nowadays, that rat fink and all that stuff is kind of making it back. So, yeah, just to talk about this a little bit. Again, lowriding is getting popular with them restoring the pioneer of hydraulics, the Exonic Corvette, and everything else going on right now. So, the Exonic is about to get restored. So car culture is really making a big leap back into the forefront, and lowriders are becoming a big deal again. So, yeah, just something that really just gets me going. And I didn't have a 1/18th scale lowrider. Frankly, not many people are releasing these scales. So, and no videos, because this seems to be an obscure model. Alright, so I'm going to quit talking. I'm going to get into this. So, outside, you have some really nice purple speckle paint. Gorgeous paint job, and it hasn't even gotten any rash yet. I'm actually, this is pretty good quality work on the paint, for real. Now you want to be careful because this does have a plastic top, and I don't think you'd want to hold it by it, so you have to be careful when you're messing with this, because this top is actually plastic, because this was actually made in convertible format for the Lock Riders series, or there's probably a convertible of this, and this is a 53, or I think it's a 54 Chevy Bel Air, and this is one casting in a large scale that I did not necessarily have, and to see them doing this in a 1/18th, pretty unusual. Most of the cars that get the love is the 56 or the 57. You don't see the 53 being done too much. I'm actually going to zoom out a little here if I can. I know some people have kind of complained that I don't have the best setup with the lighting and that I should have more. Some people have complained about too much light in my reviews, so I'm going to get a studio thing. It's a little halo light that goes around your phone, and you can adjust it on the fly. So I'm going to try to get one of those. Very nice scallops, graphics. And again, they're not like they're intricate paint jobs like a lot of the lowriders have. Maybe due to limitations, but this was a really nice model from back in the day. And again, the paint rash, I'm glad this doesn't have any, because I had a Coors Bandit model that really got some major die-cast cancer. In the back here, nice taillights, Long Beach lowriders on the license plate. I think the taillight back here is a tad crooked, I guess. I don't know. And, yeah. Okay, so there's the outside. Alright, so one gimmick the big gimmick this car had was the fact that you're able to do that. And this has actually 3 different positions. So if I kind of pull it out here, you can kind of get that lean going. And again, it's just very cool because it still rolls pretty well. And it actually steers in the front. Now, actually, it's not connected to the steering wheel, but you know, that's fine because that's a limitation. You're going to have to kind of sacrifice that to kind of have this really cool system in place to where you can just do this. And again, just super cool because you can kind of pose it in the 3-wheel motion. And it's a lot like the small scale that they had, of course. Don't think the small scale has all the opening features that you'd see on a 1/18th. Alright, so I think we've shown kind of what the suspension does kind of enough here. Yeah, so, yeah, pretty cool. So, honestly, let's just show under the hood here, shall we? And yes, underneath the hood is actually... I really wish I had better lighting for this because the hood is so... Oops, slipped. The hood is so darn big. I don't really have good lighting, but all the detail is there. Let me see if I can get them in here. And then, hold on, let's see. Yeah, there you go. Pretty nicely done engine bay. They even have the master cylinder back here and everything done up. So yeah, battery with the painted stuff, painted terminals and everything. So it's nicely done. I wouldn't expect GMP level detailing, but again, this is just the absolute heyday of when diecast manufacturers actually, you know, really cared about price point and really got nicely detailed models to the general public in Walmart, because you don't see this really being done anymore with a lot of these. Interior, really nice. Got the diamond stitch, even got little seat inserts there. No carpeting, but again, you know, old model, so I can kind of excuse the fact there's no carpeting. Certainly more detailed than most Ertls. You can kind of see a view of the dashboard, and I think you even have some texture right here. Got the dash mount rear view mirror, and even inside I think you have sun visors, although they're not painted the black. Sun visors, I wish they were black, but they're part of the windshield, and I think they're pretty much clear. Now, there's no headliner, still doesn't bother me, but it certainly would have been nice if they've been able to put at least a piece of plastic for the headliner. Maybe I'm being too critical of this model. Again, the rear seat's got that nice insert, kind of the blue. Although purple would have actually matched a little better to the outside. Have the inserts as in purple. Again, very nice paint job. I actually consider this kind of the educated man's Jada, or the higher end of Jada, sorta. Because, I mean, you certainly have lowriders by Jada, but as you can see, they are definitely not this nicely done. You got separate pieces for the batteries. You got some chrome back here Although I admit this would have probably done good with some black washing. Certainly not a detraction from it, but could have broken up some of this chrome back here with a little black washing, certainly. But of course, not too bad. Excellent detail. Back there in the trunk. We'll open the other door, so hopefully it's kind of a clear view. But again, steering wheel absolutely doesn't move. Stationary. And I think, you should. Yeah, done up the dials and here the gauges nicely. Steering wheel, kind of a hot rod style. Not the chain steering wheel that you're mostly used to seeing. Kind of would have been cool to see that in here, but certainly not bad. And then the door panels done up with that kind of blue colored. I guess it semi-matches the outside. But I like this model. I really do. Like, this is probably one of my more favorite lowride rider models that they got. Certainly. Alright, so we'll move on to the underside here, and I gotta be really careful. And again, I think the suspension moves back here. Like I said, it does. And the cool thing is the drive shaft actually is flexible. It does, actually, it kind of semi-rotates, which is kind of funny, but it's got that link there between the drive shaft and your suspension, so it almost kind of is like a telescoping drive shaft, like a lot of what the lowrider models have, weirdly enough. And again, all the detail is certainly under here. Kind of like Ertl would do theirs, but certainly done up. And again, the reason that does not connect is because that does that, and of course that has to stay separate. I don't know how they do this. Like, I think it's just one cantilever side here that has a click on it. The suspension doesn't work. Don't expect that on this because it is certainly not going to do that. And it's just stationary. It clicks into place. But again, it's super cool. Malibu International, I think, being a lot more underrated than Muscle Machines. Didn't last long until the company folded or whatever. But it just proves that there was this just super obscure stuff back in the day of the heyday of when collecting. Not really back in the day, but And of course, it's just great because, you can really get that kind of three-wheel action going that a lot of these type of cars are really known for. And like I said, now that you have the X Sonic, which being the pioneer of the hydraulic craze, when of course we all know lowriding was started because the cops were stopping cars because the hydraulics, they didn't have a way to adjust their suspension. And when the X Sonic Corvette came out, that was kind of like the godfather of all this crazy show car stuff. A lot of the pioneers back then. And then, of course, when California finally lifted the no cruising law with suspension, which was pretty outdated of a law for them to finally... Glad they lifted it. That's pretty cool. So, I think that pretty much covers this car bumper to bumper. So, I do hope you enjoyed this review. And hopefully there'll be some more others to come for the channel. Again, Christmas was fun. So I figured I'd bring you guys a little gift of a review so you guys could see this car firsthand for what it was and what this really how nice these were. For me, they were nice. And again, I got to excuse a few points because this being an older model. I'd say I give this model a 10 out of 10 just for the uniqueness factor of this kind of type car. It is very unique the way they did this. So the Long Beach Lowriders, very cool series. There is an Impala, of course, more expensive. You can usually get these models for around, I'm guessing, I think around 40 to 50 bucks, depending on what kind of deal you can find. Of course, these retail for $25, but then, accounting for some of the inflation on the secondhand market, and obviously eBay is where you're going to really have to go to get this kind of type thing. But I have the box with it. I just decided when I got it, the box is in really good shape, but I just wanted to display this out where it belongs and just next to the boogie van. All right, so it's been 15 minutes over my review time. So, guys, remember to check out more, and there should be more reviews to come during the winter. Going to try to get that done. And as always, when it comes to diecast and reviews, it has to be the J-Man 6'3". Keep tuning in. I will see you later. Bye-bye.